Do Money Differently podcast is brought to you by Acorns. I've been using Acorns as one of my investment accounts for several years now. It's ridiculously easy to use. Imagine every time you pay for a latte or hit up the drive-thru and your spare change is silently working in the background, turning your pocket change into ownership of great stocks of the companies you likely do business with every single day. You can also set up weekly or monthly recurring investments with Acorns, which puts your wealth creation on autopilot. Be sure to click the link below in the description of this episode so you can get a $40 bonus when you open up your first Acorns investment account. You'll be happy you started your new investing journey with Acorns. Welcome to this week's episode of our new podcast name called Financial Rebellion. We are moving from the name Do Money Differently immediately now to Financial Rebellion. Super excited to share that with all of you. My name is Todd Romer, founder of Young Money University and a financial success speaker, author, coach, helping a lot of young people 18 to 34 primarily, and many others learn how to be financially rebellious and begin to do money differently so that you can achieve some of your life dreams and goals. So this week's episode, I'm thrilled to kind of just walk through a few talking points. And again, as always, we are so proudly sponsored by Acorns, where I have one of my investment accounts, and highly recommend Acorns as a wonderful place to begin investing, even with $5 a week or $5 a month. That's all you need to start with. If you can do more, do more. So thank you, Acorns, for our sponsorship. Okay, we're going to talk about a few things. The first thing is, how did we come up with this name, Financial Rebellion? It's the name of our new financial success newsletter called Financial Rebellion that is coming around the corner in a few weeks. It's already called Do Money Differently, over 5,000 subscribers, but we're changing that name as well to Financial Rebellion. Let me tell you how this all started, the name. I was in Phoenix, Arizona, specifically Scottsdale, where my oldest son, Jack, lives, in February of this year. This podcast is being recorded on the week of June the 2nd. And so about 3-4 months ago, I'm in Phoenix visiting my son, but also doing a lot of speaking in greater Phoenix. And we decided to play pickleball one night. And we went to a public court where I'm very familiar with. It's a great public court. There's several people, in line waiting to play. And by the way, I'm going to talk about pickleball and in about 10 minutes or so about how I was so against pickleball. I thought it was the dumbest thing ever for many years, and now I'm a pickleball enthusiast. But let's get back to how I came up with Financial Rebellion, how we came up with this new name. So we're waiting in line. My son Jack has a friend, Evan, who also lives in Phoenix, and he was joining us to play. And as we're waiting for games to come to an end so we would get our turn, I said, hey, Evan, Jack, I have a book, as you know. It's been out for a few years. We updated it again, called Young Money. And it needs another really good update. A lot going on in the world. I don't even talk about crypto. There's so much new material to bring to young people. But I just don't want to do the Young Money name again. And I said, the name that I'm thinking about is Financial Rebellion. And Jack's friend, Evan, when I said that, he within half a second said, Mr. Romer, boom, that is it. That is a fantastic name. You see, our age group, he's in his late 20s, I'm guessing. Our age group, we kind of generally tend to rebel against a lot of things in society, not in a negative, bad way, like being rebellious against authority. Not that, he said, just we're rebellious kind of people. And he said, that is a beautiful name. And so that's how it all started. We then asked a lot of people, 18 to 29, 18 to 34, what do you think of the name Financial Rebellion for our newsletter? What do you think about it for a book? And I've never seen so many people with a physical response on their face basically say the same thing as Evan and my son Jack and my other sons and daughter. Like, Dad, that's it. That's it. That is it. That is it. So that's how Financial Rebellion started. Let's go in and talk a little bit about this next topic here in this week's podcast, brought to you by Acorns. We're going to talk about Bitcoin as one part of our podcast segment. Bitcoin is trading at about $105,000 a coin. It just hit a record a week ago of nearly 111,000 per coin. Again, about 9 years ago, it was trading at $250, and now it's over 111,000 at one point. But here's the other amazing thing that's going on. As I hear a lot from young people, hey, what do you think about Bitcoin? Or do you talk about crypto and investing in crypto? And I simply tell them on my speaking tour and everywhere else, yeah, I do think Bitcoin is a very real asset. Couple $1 trillion now in the asset. So to me, here's what's mind-boggling for young people listening, anybody listening, that major asset management, wealth management firms like BlackRock has a record amount of Bitcoin purchase in their ETF called IBIT. It's just a Bitcoin ETF where you can actually own, if you will, Bitcoin through an ETF and not have to go onto an exchange like Coinbase or Kraken and own Bitcoin. You can own it through an ETF like BlackRock's IBIT ETF. It just simply mirrors, it's like an index, it mirrors the price of Bitcoin. So if you don't want to have an account on an exchange like Coinbase, then go ahead and purchase that ETF on the traditional stock market exchanges and go ahead and start with BlackRock. But $70 billion of people's money are already into that ETF, IBIT by BlackRock. One of the world's, BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world. So if they issued a Bitcoin ETF over about a year or so ago, and it's getting $70 billion already, and it's just simply growing weekly. Millions of dollars a week are entering into that ETF. Something's up, right? In a good way. So highly recommend having you do your own due diligence of, should I invest some of my money in Bitcoin? I do. I have a decent percentage of my overall investment portfolio. Most people recommend no more than 5 or 10% of something like that, or even gold. A lot of people call Bitcoin digital gold. So it's a real deal. It's fun to see the turning of the tide, though, over the years, where a lot of experts and quote unquote famous financial experts, including Warren Buffett, called Bitcoin rat poison squared 4 or 5 years ago. Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, called it an absolute joke. So many people had such negative things to say about Bitcoin, and now they have flipped the script on Bitcoin. BlackRock's Larry Fink, who was very much not a fan of Bitcoin, called it a pseudo asset, I believe. He now says, you know what? I was wrong. It's a legit asset class, Bitcoin. So whether you like Larry Fink or not, I just really like it when somebody, like any human being, says the words "I was wrong." I always have a little bit more respect for people who say "I was wrong," and so that's in any relationship. By the way, I know I'm wrong often, but those who can say I was wrong is a pretty cool thing to have in someone's character traits. All right, so that's my Bitcoin piece. It's moving higher. It's probably going to go higher. I don't know what it's going to do tomorrow, of course, just like any stock. But if some experts are behind it big time, I have money in it. It makes a lot of sense to me. Digital gold. All right, that's my Bitcoin piece. Let's go into talking about pickleball. I told you I thought pickleball was absolutely a joke at the beginning of this podcast. For years, I thought it was just dumb. And I just would walk by a pickleball court and I would hear the sound of the paddles and I'd be like, the sound sounds stupid. It just doesn't sound right. And I like to play tennis. Um, and I just literally judged a book by its cover. I never played it. I just made an assessment from afar. So back to what I just said about being wrong and gaining respect, I was wrong about pickleball. I am a pickleball. I don't want to say aficionado. I'm learning and getting better. I just am an enthusiast. I think it's an absolute blast. Not only is it like ping pong and tennis combined, you can play doubles, of course. You can have fun. It's super social. You can stay active in it, especially as you get older. And it's just a blast, social, fun, and competitive. I don't know when I'll lose my competitive juices. I think that's pretty common. And pickleball allows you to feel competitive. I don't know a week, 24 hours later, I don't remember if I beat somebody. Again, it's like the immediate gratification of winning a, a match, whether that's against your high school buddy or buddies. We actually play a lot of singles with a buddy of mine here in Cincinnati. So that's a little more cardio. So let me tell you about pickleball and how it relates to money, though. Generally speaking, pickleball, some people think it's a boring sport or like I thought it was. But as it relates to what we teach with being financially rebellious, pickleball and managing your money are very similar. We talk a lot about setting up automated financial habits, making your money move automatically so that you get out of the way of yourself with your money. And so in relation to pickleball, where you have to do certain things and you have a certain way of hitting a ball to make it a good drop shot and to dink and dunk and all that, and just learning the form, it is no different than managing your money. Creating small, simple financial behavioral changes, i.e., setting up automated transfers every month from your checking account to your named savings accounts each and every month. Setting up bill payment automatically. You're just setting up kind of a boring financial plan, but you also generate a lot of confidence when you learn those simple money skills of automation. The wealthy know about the power that comes from financial automation. They don't save money in a single savings account called savings. They create name savings accounts like we teach all over the country. That's a big deal to become financially rebellious, rebelling against traditional financial education. That's why we came up with this name. Rebel against traditional financial education because it's not working. So create that automation, moving money from your checking to your named savings accounts each and every month, travel savings account, new car savings account, car repair savings account, putting X amount of dollars into those accounts. So that's my pickleball versus or not versus pickleball and the similarities of managing your money, the financial rebellion way, just one element that we teach. Now, I made some phone calls today. I'm moving to a third segment here. We're going to talk about traditional banks versus credit unions briefly. I decided to call three of the largest banks in the country, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and JP Morgan Chase, earlier today, just to get confirmation. And then I went onto their website and I decided, well, I don't even need to make a phone call. It's all right here on the website. I actually got a representative from Wells Fargo and I got the information at the same time online and I didn't want to hang up and I don't like doing that to people. And she answered, how may I help you? And I said, actually, I just found the information I needed about your savings accounts online. So, but I'm good. But thank you for picking up. And so that being said, listen to what's required by these named banks. And again, I'm not anti-bank at all, just stating facts and how we teach financial rebellion when it comes to savings accounts. Just on that one aspect of what we teach, just talking about savings accounts. Well, Wells Fargo will ding you a $5 monthly fee if you have a second, third, or fourth savings account that you put a name to. If you go below $300 on that savings account, they'll ding you a $5 monthly fee. Chase, JP Morgan Chase does the same thing. If you go below $300, you get a $5 monthly fee because your name savings accounts went below $300. And Bank of America requires you to have $500 minimum balance requirement into a savings account that you put names to. In contrast, the credit unions that we work with and 99% of credit unions around the country require no minimum balance required to have a second, third, fourth name savings account. Others only require $5 minimum balance requirement. That's a big deal. So let's just use this as an example. So I have harped for years, right, helping people deal with one of the biggest financial bombs or obstacles that they deal with all across the country. And that is the famous phone call from their auto mechanic when you need new tires or you need a new air conditioning system, you need a new belt, you need new brakes, caliper, whatever it is. I'm not a car guy, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Car repairs are ugly. They're nasty. They come at the wrong time, and they can be anywhere from minimum $600, it seems like, to as much as thousands of dollars, right? And so when you save money in an account called savings and it's all in one bucket, and then you get that phone call from a mechanic and they say, hey, we found this, this, and this, and it's going to be $2,400 plus tax. It's a big punch to the gut. And so using that name savings account that we teach auto repair or car repair, where you're putting, say, $50 a month. If you can do more, do more. We teach how to do that over time. And you're doing that every month. And then finally you have a phone call, maybe in a year or two, that's requires new tires or a new air conditioning unit or whatever in your car. And you actually have the money. So you then have the money, you move it over from your car repair savings account into your checking account, and then you pay that at the mechanic with your debit card. You pay cash for that repair, but now you go below $500 or $300 from these big banks, right? And now you're going to get a $5 monthly fee until you get it up to at least $300 or $500. That's bogus, in my very strong opinion. So become financially rebellious by moving from your bank. If you have no reason why you bank where you bank and you just bank there, then move to a credit union. If you're like, well, wait a minute, these banks have a lot of ATMs everywhere. When I visit my friend or my brother or my parents in a few states away, I can go to the ATM and I don't pay any fees. That doesn't cut it as an excuse anymore to switch to a credit union, because credit unions have what's called cooperative banking. You can go from Ohio to California or from Ohio to Florida, New York to Texas, and visit friends and family, and just literally being a member of a credit union, just type in credit union nearby. And all the credit unions, literally nearly all of them, are part of cooperative banking, which means you pay no ATM fee at any credit union in the country. So technically credit unions have more ATM access for free than any bank maybe in the world. So that's a big deal. All right, so that's my phone calls to, or doing some research and investigation. Even though I knew it, I just wanted to see if it was still the case with the big three banks, B of A, Wells, and Chase. They have significant minimum balance requirements to have named savings accounts. All right, the last one, second to last segment of this podcast, again, sponsored by Acorns. I want to talk to you about side hustles. In our conversations with young people, especially as we said, hey, what do you think about the name Financial Rebellion for our new newsletter, which I highly recommend anybody listening and watching to go to youngmoneyuniversity.com, become a member free, a subscriber rather, free to the newsletter. It's weekly. It's going to have a lot of great content, and we're changing that name from Do Money Differently in about 3 weeks to Financial Rebellion. Never been more excited about a product launch in our literal 15 plus year, maybe more history of Young Money University. So let's talk about side hustles. That was something that young people said, yeah, we want to know how to create more income on the side. Here's my very strong statement to everybody listening. You need a side hustle. You need a second income source, regardless, even if that's driving for Uber or Lyft, doing DoorDash a couple times a week, just getting started something, and then begin to learn new skill sets, whether that's digital marketing. I mean, the list goes on. Learning AI. I have said this to a Uber driver in Las Vegas a few months ago. He was telling me kind of some of his story. Actually, it was a very, you can tell people are legit and being real when you talk to them. But his was a legit story where he had some significant life challenges that he went through. And I said, here's my 2 cents. Do all you can to to do the research, get trained, learn skills of what AI can do, and bring those to people who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, because it's no different than the cell phone. When it came out, older people, I mean, I was an example of that. I'm like, how do you work this thing? Even though I wasn't that old when I got my first cell phone. The point is, there are so many opportunities to create a side hustle of $300, $500, even $1,000 per month that you can learn skills along the way that can turn into a potential full-time hustle or for full-time business. Highly recommend you learn about AI and how you can even just simply help small business owners learn how AI can help their business. They will be willing to pay a few $100s a month, a couple $100s a month. Think about if you got 10 small businesses that are willing to pay you, they would $200 a month just to learn how AI can help their business with lead generation, with make sure that they have the right messaging online, customer feedback, customer or client follow up, and let ongoing emails that are sent out on a regular basis, all using AI platforms. They'll spend money with you to learn those things that are just simply going to help them stay relevant and stay ahead of the game. There's so many other side hustles that you can do that we talk about. And we're going to certainly be talking about more. So it's just a matter of it's not about being, am I capable enough? It's, are you willing to go spend some extra hours a month doing something or week, learning a skill, even while you're door dashing, get on a podcast, learn different things, etc. So that's my last piece of this particular podcast, my last segment of this podcast today, this week of June, the week of June 2nd. And now here's my challenge to you, the final challenge to you I want to bring to you. Again, Financial Rebellion podcast brought to you by Acorns. Take some kind of action after this podcast, some kind of financial action, behavioral change action. Is that, finally going, you know what? Why am I banking where I bank? I am going to try a local credit union. Maybe it's Mountain America and out west. We're big fans of them, big partners of them. Maybe it's Kemba Credit Union in Greater Cincinnati. I don't know, Alabama Credit Union in Alabama. These are just some of our partners. Wherever, just try them out. You're going to, I think, very, very pleased with like, wow, I didn't know they can do all the same things a bank does. And I really like the name savings accounts. That's one way to get that financial confidence growing, just to be able to go, I just feel like I have more control when I'm naming my cash in these named savings accounts. There's so much more. So maybe that's one action step. Maybe another action step as a challenge to you this week is go through all your expenses online and go, man, did I need to do that this week? Do I need to pay that one? Do I need to have a membership to that? Do I need a subscription to that? If you don't, just nix the subscription, nix the membership. Maybe you'll find anywhere from, I don't know, 20 to 60, 80 bucks a month in subscriptions and memberships that you really don't need or use. So just take some kind of action with your money this week. Maybe it's open an Acorns account. Man, am I a big fan of Acorns. Sometime very soon, I'm going to have the CFO again on our of Acorns on Financial Rebellion podcast. His name is Seth Wonder. I know a lot of the executive team there. Great people. Noah, the CEO, on down. All right, so that's my action steps at the end of this Financial Rebellion podcast. Remember, enjoy each day. When you learn how to truly be financially rebellious, which will lead you to be doing your money differently, you're going to receive that feeling of confidence that you've always wanted to have. Until next time, this is Todd Romer with Financial Rebellion. Have a great rest of the week, wherever you are.